We will soon be celebrating the beautiful Yontif, the beautiful festival of Shavuot. Zman Matan Torateinu. That time where each and every year we re-accept the Torah. We receive the Torah as our ancestors did so many years ago. And we have to make the Torah real and meaningful in our lives. And on Shavuot, it is customary to read the book of Ruth. And the question has been asked, what does the book of Ruth have to do with Shavuot? It doesn't mention Shavuot at all. It's a beautiful story about a foreign lady from the land of Moab who comes into Israel, who converts, who marries Boaz, one of the leaders of the generation, and ultimately becomes the great-grandmother of King David. But what is the connection to Shavuot? In the famous song Eshet Chayil, which is the end of the book of Proverbs, which many people sing on a Friday night, we praise a woman of valor, and we say that Torat Chesed al Lashonah, the Torah of kindness, is upon her tongue. What does that mean, the Torah of kindness? Why don't we just say the Torah is upon her tongue? She's a woman who speaks about Torah. What does it mean, the Torah of kindness? And there's a fascinating comment in the Midrash. The Midrash says, what is the point of the book of Ruth? What do we learn in the book of Ruth? Do we learn any laws that have to do with Isur v'Heter, prohibitions? Is there anything about Tumah and Tahara, purity and impurity? Are there any monetary laws? Not really. So what is the whole point of the book? And it tells us that the point of the book is to show us the reward for people who do kindness. The reward for people who do kindness. Look at Ruth. Ruth was in fact a Moabite princess. Her husband passed away. He was Jewish. And her brother-in-law also passed away, and her father-in-law. And her mother-in-law, Naomi, who was from Beit Lechem Yehuda, from Bethlehem in the kingdom of Judah, she was going back. And she said to them, don't come back with me. Stay here, build a home for yourselves, find new husbands. And they both began to accompany her. But then the other daughter-in-law, Orpah, she turned around and she went back. But Ruth Dafka Ba. Ruth clung to her mother-in-law, who was bereft. She lost her husband, both of her sons, and she clung to her. And she went with her to a foreign country, and a country where they didn't really like Moabites. And there she converted, and she looked after her mother-in-law as if it was her own mother. She went out into the fields with the poor, and she reaped all of the gleanings. And she looked after her, and she cared for her as she had cared for her late husband. And she was noticed by Boaz, this wealthy farm owner, this wealthy land owner, who actually happened to be a relative of Naomi. And ultimately a match was made between them, and they had a child. And she was secured, she had financial security, she now had a child, and that child became the grandfather of King David. And this tells us the importance of doing kindness. There's the Torah, but there's a Torah Chesed, there's a Torah of kindness, of caring for other people. Of course, as Jews, we have to study Torah. Torah is the greatest mitzvah. Talmud Torah keneged kulam, as we say every day in our prayers. Talmud Torah, learning Torah, outweighs everything. But it has to be a Torah that is accompanied with kindness, looking after people and caring for other people. If we don't do that, if we're just for ourselves, then who are we? We have to care for other people. This is one of the most important lessons of Shavuot. I wish you all a Chag Sameach.